This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I'm here with Calm the Chaos. Since 2019, this professional home organizing service has been helping you reclaim time so you can focus on what matters most without the stress of a cluttered home or office. I'm joined by Courtney, who is the owner, founder. Let's start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, going back very early on, you've always been drawn to the simple, functional space. You probably had a kid's room that every parent loved.
I did. That is
right?
very true.
A few years ago, this passion of really helping people to simplify their life, you took public. Share with me a little bit how this got started for you.
I've been a stay-at-home mom most of my life, and just my kids have gotten older, and it became time for me to do something else with my life, and the organization just seemed like the perfect fit. I love being able to help people just reclaim their time in their home. When your home is cluttered or your office is cluttered, I feel like your mind is cluttered as well, and you can't relax and you can't enjoy the time you do have with your family. So
I believe that. I mean, you launched this company basically in 2019. Shortly after that, we all spent much time in our home. Basically, we all had a higher appreciation probably for that safe haven that we call home. Why do you feel your services are needed more today, possibly than ever before?
Well, I think you're right. Most people are working from home a little bit more now. I think even if you were used to going into the office daily before, most companies are scaling back from that. And a lot of people are working from home, and you have to have a dedicated space to do that. If you don't have a dedicated space to work from home, your mind is filled with all of the other things that you need to be doing during the day, and not what you need to be focusing on for work. So I think that it's even more important now than it's ever been.
I mean, as you say, trying to stay focused. I mean, I would say that the world continues to kind of be crazy right now. It's a bit out of control. You say that outer order equals inner peace. Tell me what you mean by that.
I believe that with every fiber of my being. Again, when your world is cluttered, when your car is cluttered, when your brain, it affects your mind and the way you're able to focus on whatever it is you need to be doing, whether that's work or your children or your home. If everything's cluttered, your mind can't focus on the things that need doing.
Based on what you say, it's pretty easy to see that balance starts at home.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is really about loving the space that you're in. What size of homes are you able to help with? Are we talking about studio apartments all the way up to multi-level homes?
Yeah, anything that you need. Small spaces are certainly fun and challenging to try to help people find creative ways to store the things that they use every day. And, of course, the bigger homes give you a little bit more leeway to do some more exciting things. But I believe that, what I like to say is that I'm not an Instagram perfect organizer.
Okay.
If you want the glass jars that are all beautiful and in your pantry and everything's matched and labeled, that's great. I can do that for you. But my experience is that you need something that will work for you. Okay. And maybe that's not everything matchy poo-poo, but it just needs to work for you and be maintainable and easy, make your life easier.
Common sense approach.
Yep.
I mean, let's talk a little bit about your process. This is a very personal service. Yes. I mean, your approach, do you approach each project really with a custom plan where no two clients are really the same?
I do. I certainly have a few products that I tend to recommend, around for everybody, but this is very personal. It's your home or your office, and I like to meet with my clients for about half an hour or so, whatever it takes before, and just kind of get to know them, talk a little bit, kind of like you and I are right now, and just get to know them as a person and try to custom build their organization around who they are and how they function.
That makes sense. So in order to really know what items and memories that I cherish and which ones I don't, you really get to know us. During that consultation, is it kind of a walkthrough at that time too, where you kind of showing each other different things?
Yes. So we usually walk through the spaces that need to be organized. Okay. And I'm a pretty people person, so there's a lot of just chatter and just sort of getting to know each other a little bit. And they can show me the spaces where they feel like they need work done and what they'd like from those spaces. It's very important to me to know what their perfect end result would be. Whether or not I can give them to them, we'll see. But whatever their perfect end result would be, I'd like to have that in my mind so I can get as close to that as possible for them.
Go to work, if you will.
Yes.
Once this plan is in place, now your expertise is able to work. It's time to purge, it's time to clean. Can the client be part of that decluttering process, and what kind of takes place at that stage?
Right. So most people are most comfortable doing the decluttering with me.
Okay.
Simply because I just met you and I don't know what's important to you and what's not. So most people like to be around for that. And we just kind of sit together and visit. And my method is to bring everything out, make a giant mess, and then go through each piece and figure out what needs to go back, maybe what needs to be donated. I try not to throw away many things. I like things to be able to be reused, so there's very little that's thrown away, and I don't toss anything without anyone's express permission.
I mean, so like you said, regardless if it's kept, some of it's donated, maybe disposed of, repurposed.
Right.
This is all done with the owner's consent. This is a pretty nice process. For many of us, organizing, it's overwhelming.
It is.
I mean, for you, it's not. So is it kind of nice for some of these people when you're able to come in and kind of relieve us a little bit?
Right. I think that a lot of people feel a lot of pressure when somebody says, I need to be organized. They have this Marie Kondo idea in their head where they need to have, blank walls and nothing anywhere. And that's just not realistic. We don't live in that world, or most people don't live in that world anyway. So I think you're right. It comes very naturally to me. I'm not a CPA, so I'm not going to do your taxes. I'm going to ask a professional to do that. I like to be the professional for organizing.
Once you have purged what you don't need, now you're able to organize what is left behind. This not only looks good, as we say, but it's actually functional.
Yes.
This is really a thought-out design that is pertaining to each lifestyle. Does that kind of make it a fun challenge for you, making sure that when they come back in, it looks great, but this works?
Yes, exactly. That's my main goal. Of course, everybody wants it to be aesthetically pleasing, which I do too, but the function of the space is really the thing that I focus on the most, especially for families with children. There needs to be a place for everybody to dump their backpacks and their shoes when they come in, but not be a chore to do that. It just needs to feel natural, and it gets done, and nobody has to think about it.
Let me ask you this. Obviously, people do their best to try to organize. I mean, I know I've bought a few things in the past. I mean, how much is the purchase on the back end required when you come in, or how does that work?
Well, it kind of depends on what you need. I'm a pretty frugal person, and I think if you have a basement full of mismatched storage containers, we should use those. You don't need to buy, everything doesn't have to match. I try to use what you have as best as we can. Most people do have to buy a few things, but I try to keep that cost as low as possible.
That is interesting. Yeah, I mean, you make the entire process very easy, from a plan of executing that plan to really even the removal of items from the home. Are people kind of pleasantly surprised that you're able to go in and kind of transform as you do?
I think they are. The thing I get told the most is how efficient I am. People look at their space and, like you said before, they're just overwhelmed with the amount of stuff. And I just see it differently, and I tend to get it done pretty quick, and most people think, well, gosh, you've only been in there for 2 hours. How did that happen? You're just in there by yourself. So it's pretty nice. When
it comes time for you to reveal what you've done, do you enjoy that process as much as the client? Is this something you enjoy, and have you been kind of moved by what people have said at that moment?
Yes, there are surprisingly more tears than you might imagine when people see the final result. I think it's just the release of that stress. And that I have a place for everything, and there's no more just stuff everywhere. So I think it's a big relief to people, and that always warms my heart.
I mean, it's only common sense that there is a connection between living in clutter, disorganization, that can lead to anxiety, unfocus, maybe even a claustrophobic feel. This is more than just looking better.
Yes.
This is living better.
Yes.
I mean, it's got to be great for our mental health.
I think it really is. Again, like you said before, we were all sort of prisoners in our own home for a long time. And I think just having a space where you can feel relaxed and comfortable and at ease, and not feel like there's a constant list of things that you need to be doing in your head. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's best to get your whole home organized. But if somebody just wants to start, maybe with a garage, a pantry, a kid's room, is that possible? And do you
Absolutely.
recommend that?
Yes, I think if you're unsure about the process,
Yeah.
it's probably good to start sort of small. That way we can get to know each other and just feel comfortable together before we get into the big stuff.
You offer your services obviously for the homes out there, but you also offer it for offices as well. Does that decluttering even include our digital world, if you will?
Yes, it does. I can scan documents and images and get them on a thumb drive for you, so you don't have the piles and piles and piles of papers. If that's something you're comfortable with, some people like to have, a hard copy of things. But I've done several clients where they've had their old photos scanned, like their antique photos, which inevitably sit in a box. You're not enjoying them, you're not looking at them. And if I can get them onto the thumb drive for them, then they can put it up as a home screen on their TV or, get to enjoy these images. I hate when people have lovely family heirlooms, like images or grandma's gloves or something, and they're sitting in a box somewhere. So I really like finding those things and finding a way to display them so that you can enjoy it and have it be part of your life and feel that history from your family without it just being stuck in a drawer somewhere.
That is exciting. I mean, from a kid who was basically building pencil holders out of duct tape to now being able to declutter entire homes, what is really overwhelming for most others, do you still find it rewarding as you calm the chaos?
I do. I just love the feeling I get when someone feels like they have their life back in their home and are able to focus on their families and do the things they love instead of the things they don't want to be doing.
That is very cool. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, on the website, you're going to learn more about this licensed and insured professional that will come into your home and understand that everything is done with your consent. Basically, she's going to bring years of experience of being organized, and don't be afraid to show what you have. A person like this has seen it all. They understand what it's like to be living, what's normal. This isn't a showroom. This is your home, and she wants you to not only feel good about it, but also be functional. You can check out all the services on the website as well, learn the process, and obviously set up a phone consultation. She can answer any questions for you, and obviously it'll take place a consultation at your home as well. They'll do a walkthrough and go from there. Check them out on Facebook, all the social media. She'll give you tips on how to stay organized out there as well. Once again, that is Calm the Chaos since 2019, providing an array of custom tailored services, removing for you the chaos of clutter. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.